Well, the Motte and Bailey has been described as a fallacy and is often found in lists of fallacies. It was originally coined the Motte and Bailey Doctrine. Originally coined by philosopher Nicholas Shackle in 2005, it describes a rhetorical tactic where a hard-to-defend position is put forward, but when challenged, the one putting forward the argument retreats to an easier-to-defend position. It's named after a castle system that was popular in medieval times. The Motte was generally a stone tower on the top of a hill and was not the desirable place of habitation. The Bailey was a plot of land surrounding the Motte and protected only by a ditch or a simple wall. The Bailey is where most people desired to live, but it was harder to defend. And when pressed hard by marauders, those in the Bailey could retreat to the Motte, which was much easier to defend by construction. Hence why this rhetorical strategy is named the Motte and Bailey Doctrine, or fallacy as it's become known as. It is the strategy of putting forward a hard-to-defend claim, and the one that people desire to make, such as the claim God does not exist. Then, when pressed to defend that claim, will retreat to a much easier-to-defend claim, such as atheists just lack a belief in gods, or atheism is the null hypothesis, or the burden of proof is on the one making the positive claim. In the case of the argument atheism is the null hypothesis, it is argued that it is simply the default state. There is no evidence of God's existence until such evidence is provided, which is a much simpler claim, a much less controversial claim, and a much easier to defend claim. It becomes a claim of I see no reason to believe God exists instead of I see reason to believe that God does not exist. It is an attempt to make a claim, then retreat to a non-claim for purposes of debate strategy. It is essentially a bait and switch tactic. This is also increasingly common in the online atheist sphere, where the desired claim that God does not exist is made, but then more and more strategies are put forward for why that claim does not need to be defended. So, to sum up, the Motte and Bailey Fallacy, or Motte and Bailey Doctrine, is the tactic of making a strong claim and the claim that is desired, but then substituting it with and retreating to a much simpler claim that is easier to defend.